Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree. If you are new here, and in today's video, I just want to do a little date night glam. Just a little, just going out on a date and how I would do my makeup for that situation. Maybe give you guys a little bit of inspiration for a date night that you are having yourself. So if you guys want to hang out and see some kind of fall inspired date night glam, then just keep on watching. The lighting in this video may be a little weird. I'm actually filming this at like 9 a.m., which is significantly earlier than I ever film. But despite the fact that you guys are seeing this in October, I'm filming this at the beginning of September, and we are on the first day of the worst heat wave that we have had this year. It is supposed to get up to 95 degrees today. And then mind you, I live about 10 miles from the ocean, so that's actually like insane numbers. And so I kind of had to make the decision last night. I was like, okay, well, I guess I am going to get up in the morning and immediately get ready and immediately film, because it'll still be cooler in my house because we pull in as much like nighttime cool air as we can into the house. So it's like, I guess that's how I'm doing this, or else I don't think that I would survive filming later in the day. So with that being said, I do have the blinds on that window cracked just a little bit for a little bit of natural light. But as you can see, the sun it's sunny. It's fucking sunny. So if I sit just far enough back, I am out of it. But oh god, oh, that's scary. Speaking of the heat, and speaking of me filming early, I usually, before I even get started, before I film, okay, let me backtrack. Usually when I film while my husband is still asleep, I will actually close this door and leave the rest of the house open. And I was like, damn, like I'm gonna be the one with the blinds open, and like I have the filming lights and all of this stuff. And I was like, so let me just turn off the air conditioning and then just close the bedroom door, but let me still have as much airflow as possible, because I'm the one that's awake, you know? He can turn on the fucking fan in there and I wouldn't hear it. So all three cats were in the bedroom and I didn't like completely shut the door, but I pulled it to like almost latch. I actually didn't even think that they would be able to get out. And we really need to like WD-40 our doors. They're a little squeak. And I just heard the door open and I leaned forward and I looked down. There's a mirror in the hallway so I can see the bedroom door, and I just see a cat just with glowing eyes just staring at me in the mirror in like the pretty dark hallway. Didn't like that. I'm gonna be honest though, this lighting actually looks pretty fucking good. There's a nice glow happening on my chest. Okay. Can I zoom this out just a little bit more? Okay, so for the majority of today's makeup look, I'm going to use the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. Half the reason why there's probably a glow on my chest is it's shining off of that palette and off of my pasty legs. And this is going to be a relatively simple makeup look. It's just going to look really glam and really just like good and date night worthy. So I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush, but like a kind of smaller one, and I'm going to go into the shade Thick Skin, and I'm going to start placing this on my outer corner. My in-laws get in 2 days, and when I saw that it was supposed to be, today's Thursday, they get in on Saturday, it's supposed to be 95 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday and Monday are supposed to be like 90, and then on Tuesday it kind of breaks and it goes down to like 85, right? When I saw originally, like last week, when all I could see was like Thursday and Friday, and I was like, oh, it's just gonna be like a little 2-day heat wave, it'll be fine. It's just gonna be like Santa Ana's or something, no big deal. I texted my mother-in-law and I was like, I am so sorry. It's like, it's gonna be miserable here. Only for, you know, the days to just keep passing. And then for me to realize, oh no, it is actually gonna be at least half of their trip is just gonna be hot as fuck. Hellish, if you will. And of course it's going to be the half that they're staying with us in my shittily cooled apartment. Next up, I'm going to take a slightly larger blending brush and I'm going to go into Love Handles. And I'm actually going to blend this next to Thick Skin first. I want to create like a little bit of a gradient situation. I need to remember that I need to lean back, not lean forward, or else I'm just going to be in the sun. I do feel really bad for the gardeners who I do have perpetual beef with, but that's just because they're loud. But these gardeners are nice. But I feel extra bad for... They've been rebuilding all of the covered parking structures that are in front of each like apartment building. They've been rebuilding them, honestly, for the majority of this year, if not longer. No, longer. They started, it's been almost a year. It has been almost a year. Because I remember they said that they were doing it because of termite damage, and they started with ours. Ours was the very first one. And I remember being like, oh, we'll just get through this week of it being really loud and then I won't ever have to hear it again. And then it was just like constantly until they got to the other side of the complex. But that was when they got the fleas, because we were pretty sure that all of the hammering and everything like made the fleas come into the house. And that was also when the termites got really bad. So no, they've been doing this for over a year now. Anyways, they're doing one like somewhere over away from the apartment. I can like barely hear it, but I can tell that they're here. And they're just, you know, it's black on top of those. And they're working with like fucking tar and shit. So it's hot. I feel bad for them. Alright, and then last but not least, I'm actually going to jump over to the ColourPop Not a Box of Chocolates palette, just because the like bone shade that I have in my Jaclyn Hill palette is gone. I've had that palette for forever, and I'm just going to dip into a little nougat for my lids on a kind of more flat fluffy brush, and I'm just going to kind of pack it on my lids and then fluff it into the lighter shade whose name is escaping me at the moment. Okay, really quick before I go in and kind of touch up, you know, the blend and everything, I'm just going to take the brush that I used to set my brow bone. I'm not picking up any extra powder or anything. I'm just kind of running this over the top edge. And then I'm going to go back into Love Handles was the name. Back into Love Handles. Hit that right between where those two shades meet. And blend everything. So you obviously don't need these exact palettes, and you can honestly do it with any tones of neutrals that you wanted to use. I just wanted to kind of do like a really warm, like orangey neutral. And then I am just going to grab just a little bit more of Thick Skin. That sounds wrong. Just in time for the gardeners to start weed whacking. I'm going to go put on a wing, put on my base, and I will be right back. Okay, so I do like to put on my, when I have the right, we're gonna work through that. We're gonna move through that. When I have the right concealer, I like to apply it and then put on my cream, bronzer, and blush. So, and I still feel like it would be weird if I came on camera looking like this. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna grab a little bullet brush. I don't know why I call them bullet brushes. And I have the LYS No Limits Cream Bronzer in Hope. I'm just going to do a little bit of nose situation here. You watch. I'm going to go to edit this video, and because I do talk a little bit quieter when my husband's asleep, because, you know, I do try to be, you know, nice. But on the flip side of that, when there are gardeners, I do have to talk louder. And you watch. I'm going to go to edit this video, and I'm going to be like, damn, can't hear a single fucking word this bitch is saying, because all I hear is gardening. Taking my Velour Puff, as usual. I blew through this bronzer, by the way. It's just such a good bronzer, but also it's so creamy that it's easy to just pick up like a lot. It's also one of the very few bronzer sticks that I, in some situations, feel comfortable applying it directly to my face and then blending it out. It doesn't like stick when I do that. So I think that also has caused me to go through it a little bit faster. And then flipping over my Velour Puff, I'm gonna grab the LYS Higher Standard Cream Glow Blush in the shade Curvy. Pick up a little bit of this. I'm realizing now as I'm doing this that I honestly kind of prefer this formula with a brush, but the ship has sailed, so. This is a very pigmented blush, and I also put on, you know, powder blush with it and everything, so I'm just going to keep it a little bit more focused towards the back. I don't know what it is about this blush in particular, but I do think that it just applies better with a brush. But I also just don't feel like dirtying a brush. It's like so much more work to clean than these little Velour Puffs are. But I think I may have to. That's not really working, is it? Let me match on this side and then I'll go in with a brush. Alright, I'm just going to grab a clean brush and just kind of stipple over this. I think it's just like genuinely almost too pigmented, and the Velour Puff just kind of applies it. It doesn't apply it in like a way that it sticks down in one spot. It's just something about it. I don't know. Just applies better with a brush. What's happening over here? I'm going to spray down my face, blend out my concealer, go set down my face, and I will be right back. Okay, face is all set down. I'm going to grab the ColourPop Pressed Powder Blush in Avila Beach because I don't set down my bronzer except for on my nose. I've talked about this before on my channel, but October is always such a weird time for me for content. First things first, usually I do some level of Halloween content with my in-laws coming to town, with my husband having dental surgery and like work being a little weird because of that. I decided I didn't want to this year. I'm gonna focus in on like fall vibes rather than Halloween vibes, except for my background obviously because it's so fucking cute. But with that being said, October is always such a weird time for content for me because I feel like in much of the United States, much of it, not the Southwest. I don't even know why Southern California is not considered the Southwest. We are quite literally the most south and the most west. Why are we not the Southwest? I digress. Most of the country though. September and October, like it's starting to get a little brisk, like, you know, that kind of vibe, right? And there's so many states in the US that will actually have like their first snow in October. You know, you're getting frost in October. However, in Southern California especially, we call September and October local summer because obviously, you know, I live in a coastal area. You know, I live in San Diego County, and San Diego is a very popular tourist destination. So is most of Southern California. I feel like people who come out here likely do, you know, the full run. They hit San Diego, they hit Orange County, they may or may not go to Disneyland, and then they hit like LA, you know? I'm gonna grab the Disney X Ulta Beauty blush and highlight palette, and I'm gonna take Phantasmic. So with that being said, the traditional actual summer when people actually take like their vacations and stuff because the kids are out of school and everything, the county of San Diego is very busy during that period of time, especially the more coastal areas and like downtown and stuff like that. It's very busy, very, very busy area. Also, we have like the fair, we have, you know, the Comic-Con, of course, is a big one. And we are very like touristy during that time. People from across the country come to visit because we have beautiful beaches, and people from like Arizona and Nevada come to visit because it's less hot. you know? September and October, the kids are back in school. Everyone's back at work. Well, why don't we get summer break from work, honestly? Just saying. But like, you know, like everything kind of goes back into its normal routine, and it's still hot as shit in Southern California. In fact, typically hotter than it was for the rest of the summer. And so that's what we call local summer. Our beaches are more open because there aren't people from out of state here, or even, you know, from other parts of the state here. And so it's our summer. And it always is just like such a kind of awkward time to film content because I'm over here in like the smallest tank top physically possible, and like can only wear my hair up in buns and up in ponytails because I can't have it touching me because it's so hot. And you know, I'm talking about fucking AC and shit like that. Meanwhile, someone up in, you know, Maine, it's fucking snowing. It's a very weird time for content. So I am now taking the Be Perfect Polar Vortex highlighter in Atmosphere, or the Atmosphere highlighter in Polar Vortex, as my blush topper. Someone corrected me in the comments one time and told me which way it was. Didn't stick. I'm so sorry if you see this. That information didn't stick in my brain. All I know is that this thing is discontinued, so does it actually matter? Alright, in case you were wondering, it seems as though they may have overestimated our heat wave. It's only going to be 91, not 95. And weirdly enough, now Sunday is like going to be the hottest day, but by Wednesday it's going to drop down to 78, which means the heat wave will be officially broken. So I just have to make it 6 days. Just got to make it 6 days. And a couple of those days I'll be at work, which means I won't have to deal with the heat because I will be in an extremely air-conditioned building. Anyways, for my under eyes, I'm going to grab this little fluffy shader brush, and I'm going to start out with Thick Skin. And I am just going to tuck that just right there. I'm not taking it any farther over. Just tucking that darkest shade right there. I've started doing my under eyes more like this recently, and I've been loving the kind of like angle that it kind of makes my eyes look like they are. I'm going to wipe this brush off, dip it into Love Handles, or I did wipe the brush off and dip it into Love Handles, I should say. And I'm going to take this just right next to and a little bit below Thick Skin, but I'm still not taking it over very far at all. Okay, I am going to skip the like sheer glowy powder that I sometimes do, mostly because I feel like my face is going to get pretty glowy throughout the day. Not that I'm going anywhere. I'm going absolutely nowhere today. Regardless, I'm going to jump back into the Disney Ulta Beauty palette, and I'm going to go into the shade Mission Space for my highlights. I really do feel like this is the most perfect fall golden highlight shade. And I've been taking my like inner corner highlight a lot farther over because I have more open space on my lower lash line too. And it just kind of like, it opens up that space, but it pulls it up back here. I got highlighter in my eye. I did it on the other side too. Alright, that's fucking fine. I know that I said that I intentionally started filming earlier so that I wouldn't have to deal with the heat and could use the fact that the house was a little bit cooler in the mornings. But like typically, by this point, by the highlight point of me filming, I am dying, like just so sweaty and gross because I can't have any fans or anything on or AC on while I'm doing this because it's loud as shit. I gotta say, kind of kicking myself for not starting filming this early throughout the rest of the summer. It's like 80 degrees in here right now, but like I'm good. I'm good for right now. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna jump off and finish up the rest of my face, touch up my liner, do my brows, put on something on my lips. I'm gonna go do all that off camera. I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the final look. I love the way that it turned out. I think that it's so pretty. It's a little fall. It's definitely glam, perfect for date night. So comment down below and let me know how you do your makeup for date night. I would love to hear all about it. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!